Welcome to CBN4's Primetime News. I am your presenter, Marisa Stedman. Police Superintendent Richmond Valentine addressed concerns over traffic coming in and out of Roseau. Valentine stated that a great number of persons who come to Roseau are not conducting any business in the capital. He also stated that there are a few streets that are still inaccessible due to the effects of Hurricane Maria and work done by the electricity company, Damlek.
Well, in relation to traffic, the city of Roseau has not been cleaned up sufficiently to accommodate the volume of traffic that access the city daily. And so persons are coming to town not necessarily to do business, but to see the level of damage that is in the city. So the motorists island-wide converge on the city of Roseau. And there are a number of streets in Roseau that are still obstructed by debris as a result of Hurricane Maria. There are a number of areas that the Dominican Electricity Services are trying to restore power. And as a consequence, those streets are not accessible.
According to Valentine, the police are working hard at managing the flow of traffic in and out of the city by designating the following parking areas.
We continue to place checkpoints at various locations in an effort to reduce the volume of vehicular traffic in the city. Motorists entering the city from the north, we are now, Lindo Park has been provided so that they can park those vehicles. And those motorists who are entering the city from the south, we've made the Newton Savannah available also for parking.
Superintendent Valentine urges Dominicans to avoid coming into Roseau if they are not conducting any business. This, he says, will reduce traffic and allow the emergency services and utility companies the opportunity to perform their task in a much more efficient manner. Since the passing of Hurricane Maria, a curfew has been implemented. While many may not agree to the stipulated time of curfew, Valentine lamented that the curfew was necessary for crime management and emphasized that the curfew has been achieving its purpose, protecting people and property.
The curfew was implemented based on the level of lawlessness that took place in the city post-Hurricane Maria. And so the curfew was necessary in an effort to provide the security forces the opportunity to manage the crime situations sufficiently.
In other stories, the parliamentary representative for the Point Michel constituency, Dennis Charles, says that while her constituency was one of the hardest hit, she is hopeful that they will bounce back. According to Charles, they are very well organized, having formed various groups and committees in her constituents even before the hurricane. This was particularly helpful, especially as it relates to the distribution of food and emergency supplies to all households.
We are very well organized in our constituency. We have a team of people working with councillors, disaster management team members, volunteers and government workers. And we have central distribution center, one in Point Michel and the one in Soufriere. And the one in Soufriere is the the one in Soufriere is the Soufriere police station, and the one in Point Michel is the community center. And from there we have teams. We split Point Michel in 6 zones, and we have 2 to 3 people per zone who go to each house, find out how many people live in that house, babies, diabetic, whatever their needs are, and then they package the supplies and bring to them. The same thing is happening in Soufriere, Scottsted and Galio. So we go directly to the households instead of having people line up for food. We wanted to avoid any chaos and to still help assist people in a dignified manner. And especially senior citizens who will not be able to walk. Some people live alone. So in that way, they know who their rep is. They can just contact their rep will continuously check up on them to see what they require, and we'll deliver it to them directly. As supplies become available, we distribute. So for example, we did not receive flour until yesterday. So yesterday we got 40 bags of flour. So today the representatives are going to go to the different households, get plastics or containers, and distribute the flowers directly to them.
Charles says that she believes that it is possible for the other communities in Dominica to get organized. When asked about her personal experience during the hurricane, this is what she had to say.
It was very frightful. I mean, I was praying throughout the entire time, but I remember one time I was lying down on my bed and I just heard like an explosion, and when I looked, there was a hole. I was seeing the sky. And so I ran out and everywhere was leaking. The roof was gone. And so I was on a chair for some reason, one little area in the family room, there was no leaks and there was a chair. Then I sat on that chair and I was communicating with people because a lot of people were checking up on their families and stuff because flow was still on. And so people were communicating with me and telling them everything is going safe and stuff. So I was there and every half an hour I was picking up containers of water, emptying it and bringing it back. So it was a very stressful, tiring night. And then at 4 a.m., when things kind of quiet down, some people passed to come and see me, and then we went walking around the community to check to make sure everybody was safe. And then I found out as early at 4 o'clock in the morning that we had lost some constituents, unfortunately, who were very dear to my heart.
Ms. Charles encourages Dominicans to remain positive, to cooperate and work together. She says that it is a step-by-step process towards recovery. CBN4 hit the streets this morning and spoke to a few people about how they felt about Dominica in its present state. One issue that seems to be confronting a lot of persons is the issue of traffic and how difficult it can be to get into Roseau. Do you think that Dominicans are complying with the police? Are they doing their best that they can to allow the police to do their jobs in an efficient manner?
I will have to say no. I'll have to say no. We, the young people in Dominica, we are wicked. Not we, but they are wicked. Because what they do, it's a disgrace.
Now, do you think that most people coming into Roseau are coming into Roseau because they have a real reason, because they're coming to conduct business, or they're coming to sightsee?
They're coming to sightsee, as you say, and some coming to draw a little money. I had to go and withdraw on my little salary, my pay, my check, my book then.
So what would you say to the Dominican people?
What can I say? I have to say they have to be patient, stand still until things come better.
How do you feel about Hurricane Maria?
Hurricane Maria was an experience. Actually, I felt very scared.
Where were you when it happened?
At my home. I was sleeping and then my parents just said poof. My parents and my father's friend were in the sitting room and then our sliding door broke. And when I woke up, they told me go inside because wind was going inside. I could throw young things very fast. I was terrified.
Oh wow. So how do you feel now? Do you feel better?
Yeah.
Okay, were you guys given assistance in terms of food supplies and other
Yes.
stuff that you need?
Yeah.
Okay, and you being a big girl for your mom, right?
Yeah.
You staying brave for everybody?
Yes.
Oh, that's very nice. Okay, so what do you want to tell Dominicans out there?
To stay safe, be strong, and everything can rebuild back if they stop looting and be good and don't loot our places. Don't look no big shops, no small shops. Don't look nowhere because we need food.
Oh, that's very
We need
nice.
a lot of food. As Hurricane Maria passed, and just go inside. Mostly all places in Dominica are looted, but you can rebuild back fast.
Wow, strong words from a little child. Very nice, thank you.
Welcome.
What some had started to describe as a ghost town is quickly improving. Although not too many, a few businesses are open and catering to the public. The National Bank, for example, is one of those places, hosting a long line of persons awaiting to handle their banking transactions. The public is well pleased that the bank is open. I'm standing at the National Bank of Dominica in our capital, Roseau. It is extremely hot and dusty out there. You can see the lines. There are a lot of people in line standing to have their banking transactions done after Hurricane Maria. People are extremely happy that they have the privilege right now to go into the bank where they can collect their capital. However, there are challenges. As you can see, have you just arrived? Have you been waiting long? How has it been?
About 15 minutes. I passed by earlier and I didn't see. But I think if they using the ATM, it's going fine.
Okay.
Yeah. For now. I haven't been waiting so long, but I can see progress is being done.
Basically, we want to know, how was your experience?
Well, it was a first time experience for me. First time seeing or going through a hurricane. And I can't really remember my first, how you would say that, when the ordeal was over and I went outside. I cannot really remember what my first reaction was. It was like, wow, where am I?
So what community are you from?
From Mountain Granby.
How badly hit were you guys?
Very bad. There's another village higher up called Stedman. It's like maybe 3 or less houses standing, completely devastated.
What about the roads? Are the roads all cleared of debris? Is it accessible?
Accessible, yes and no. It is very challenging. It is just,
So
I can see myself going up and down the road, per se, every day trying to go to work. It's very scary.
So I can assume that they cleared at least a pathway that vehicles
Yes,
can
there's
drive,
a path,
but there's
but
still
it
debris on the
is,
road.
yes, a lot of debris.
Okay.
And it's very scary.
Have you seen the traffic coming into Roseau? Have you left Roseau recently?
Well, coming in this morning, we had to get off the bus from Lale Coco area and walk all the way into town.
Improvements in light and water are fast coming just today. Trucks were situated in and around Roseau, replacing damaged poles and fallen lines. While most of the island remains without electricity, we can boast that we are assured that Domlec is working tirelessly to repair and resolve the issues surrounding the electricity. It may take some time, but work is on the way. And what about the source of life itself? Water, what makes Dominica truly the nature isle of the Caribbean? Well, for folks in and around Roseau, water has been restored, and to much delight. Right now, I'm standing still on Hillsborough Street. We have Domlec's vehicle behind me, where the hard-working men of Dominica are at work. They are replacing a pole that was badly damaged from Hurricane Maria. As our cameras roll through, this is just one of the many poles in Dominica that were badly destroyed by the passage of Hurricane Maria. Of course, we can see that the gentlemen are working hard at it. It is safe to say that Domlec is trying their very best to restore electricity in Dominica, and this is just one of the many areas in which they are trying to do so. Amidst it all, we do have something else to rejoice about. Other than electricity being down, water has been restored to Roseau, Goodwill, Caneville, and environs. And that is certainly something that we can rejoice. We have got numerous complaints about having a water shortage. The kids need water, the pregnant women need water, we all need water. And it is so hot in Roseau right now. I can only tell you how refreshed I feel to know that I can stand here and drink some of that good Dominican water. For persons wondering about their medical needs, Quick Care Pharmacy is catering to you. They're open from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday to Friday, and they're asking everyone who needs the medication to come on out. They're willing to take in refills. They cannot give you any other drugs that you do not have a prescription for, but if you do have a refill, they are willing to work with you and over-the-counter drugs. I'm entering the Hasbro Medical Center right now, a place that was usually very busy. It remains as a household name for most persons because this is where most of the doctors in Dominica are located. You have Dr. Shillingford Ricketts, Dr. Rhonda McIntyre, many of the general practitioners in Dominica being housed in this very building. Unfortunately, after Hurricane Maria, there isn't any activity except for Quick Care Pharmacy. This is one of the few pharmacies in Dominica where you can still get your prescription refills and some over-the-counter drugs. This place is opened according to management. They're only open from 9 to 1 daily, so we have a lot to be thankful for in Dominica right now. So for those persons who need some supplies, some pharmaceutical drugs, over-the-counter items, you can come down to Quick Care Pharmacy and they are very willing to assist you. And CBN4 has been informed that another pharmacy has made its services available. Let's go to Kamisha as she gives us more details on that.
We are outside Jolly's pharmacy and I was so lucky to catch Mr. Carlton Lando. He's a pharmacist. You're also the public relations officer, right? Always on the radio talking about Jolly's pharmacy. We can see we have a very, very, very long line out there, and that line, since yesterday we've had that line outside Jolly's pharmacy. Do you think you have enough stock to supply every person who wants medicine here today?
Definitely, that's a good question that you've asked. We do have enough stock. I must say we were fortunate that our premises were not encroached on and were not vandalized and looted, and so that in itself gave us the opportunity to have enough stock for people. Usually around September, October, we order large amount of medication because it's a Creole season. We expect many people to be here, and then soon after you have Christmas. And so we were, in a sense, well prepared in terms of stock for this event. It's rather unfortunate, but it happened, and we're happy that we could have opened our doors since a few days after the storm and render that type of service to our public. We recognize that health is key, and if our people health can be maintained and optimized, then that in itself is going to prevent unexpected deaths, the rise in uncontrolled chronic non-communicable diseases. And so we're happy that we've been able to do so. It has been a bit of challenge, because people have had to queue for hours to get into the store, but for security reasons we've had to follow that level of procedure in terms of our operations. But I must say that all our staff have been very, very devoted to the cause, have really come on the scene and have given 100% in terms of logistics and support for the type of service that we render to our public.
Okay. The patrons hoping to get some medication inside of Jolly's pharmacy. So let us see what she has to say. Good morning, ma'am. What is your name?
Marcella Severin.
Okay, and how has it been for you getting your supplies here? We can see the line is moving. The line is moving.
It doesn't take long to get in. The line looks long, but it moves. And another thing, when you get in there, the staff is very helpful. There's always somebody there to help you.
The staff is very helpful at Jolly's pharmacy.
Very helpful and very calm and kind and smiling, and they're helpful. They're good.
How has the storm impacted you?
Oh, very badly. I have more waterfalls at my home than we have in Dominica.
Where are you from?
From Roseau.
And you have waterfalls at your home?
Yes, I think I should get tourists to come. I use the water to flush.
Oh my gosh, well,
How much I get. That's how much I get.
Well, it's sort of a blessing, right?
Yes. It's a curse in one way, it's a blessing in another.
So this is going online, it's also going on Facebook. Any of your family overseas you'd like to say hello to? Let them know that you're fine.
Oh yes, to my darling brother, my darling son in Canada, my darling brother and sister in Canada, my lovely nephew in Bahamas, and my sister in St. Kitts, and my sister in Florida.
So remind us of your name again.
Marcella Severin.
As we promised you earlier, we tried to get into Jolly's pharmacy. So right now we are on the inside, and as you can see, It's a breath of fresh air. The air coming on my skin. It's just a happy feeling to be inside there. And all the customers are happy. They are shopping. They are getting all their supplies, and you can see they're heading out the door with a smile on their face. So again, just want to thank the team of Jolly's Pharmacy for at least bringing that little bit of sunshine to the Dominicans who want to get their supplies. Some people getting pet food, some are getting cosmetic products, some are getting chocolate, a simple luxury, but it's all in here at Jolly's Pharmacy. Some your hair products, everything is in here for you. Also some supplies if you're looking for food stuff. They also have an aisle for food stuff. So it's a complete storehouse right now.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this break.
Today, a team from Digicel, led by CEO Nicki Minaj, met with political and community leaders from the Kalinago territory, La Plaine, and Castle Bruce to begin discussions on relief efforts within the communities. Those communities suffered mass devastation with the passing of Hurricane Maria, and as such, the chairman of Digicel, Dennis O'Brien, has pledged to lend of himself the utmost support in getting these areas up and running in the soonest possible. Key areas of focus are the elderly, the children, with a special emphasis on education.
Let me acknowledge how impressed I am with the energy Digicel is bringing into our area, the Kalinago area, Casablanca, all the way to La Plaine. We've been discussing this morning the logistics of, first of all, getting our elderly out of the shelters, which are mainly based in government facilities, the schools, the resource centers. And we also been discussing the question of how Digicel, with its limited capacity, can assist us in getting our kids back to school.
Awesome.
And so a number of teachers were in caucus discussing the logistics, and we had another team discussing the question of the elderly, and we also had a team of us, the government officials, the ministers and the PAREPs, meeting with management of the Digicel, in particular the CEO, Mrs. Ray, and we were looking at the overall logistics as to how we're going to assist in getting the people out of the shelters.
With regards to the meeting, I'm optimistic about what is going to happen in a few days. Well, everything cannot be perfect, but I believe with good coordination, the community will benefit from what is happening here today. Some aspect of it that I wish we could have pushed a little bit more, but because of limited funds, we have to limit it to certain things. But they have taken care of the senior citizens and those who are shut-ins maybe and they are at shelters, and also with regards to the children. This has been one of my main concerns since after the storm, because we have grade 6 students who will need to be in school because the national assessment is coming soon. And also we have students who are into doing their CSEC exam, and they need that little boost to keep them active so that they don't fall asleep and miss the opportunity to get somewhere in the future. Also, one of my concerns is how many of our students will be able to return to school and possibly get an education, secondary and into tertiary. But with the coming of Digicel, I think this has solved some of my concerns.
First of all, I want to thank Digicel for coming forward and taking that initiative. I think that shows very good sign of good corporate organizations in Dominica that of Digicel, and I want to thank them. I think if every other organization would come forward, Dominica would be very convinced that we're going to put this country back to normal. And the initiative by giving people tarpaulins for the partially destroyed houses, especially those that suffered roof damage, that would be a good initiative, and we are going to work on that as seriously and as urgently as possible.
Today we visited the Kalinago territory and had a very fruitful meeting with a number of persons representing a number of different sectors across Atkinson, the Kalinago territory, as well as Castle Bruce, in terms of what sort of humanitarian support can we provide to them specifically in relation to the elderly, as well as schools, as well as children. And coming out of this, we will be meeting again next week to continue the discussions as we firm up our plans on where we're going from here. We do need to say a special thank you to everybody that was with us today, including the PS of Foreign Affairs, Minister Drygo, the Chief of Kalinago Affairs, Minister Daru, the principals of a number of different schools, the nurse from the district, and councilmen and supporters that were there just to find out how do we rebuild, not how we were, but better moving forward in the future.
It's Christopher Vassell for CBN4 News.
Thanks for staying with us. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Public Works and Ports, Dennis Edwards, has stated that the Ministry of Public Works has been working feverishly to restore road access in a number of communities around the island. Edward also stated that the department is working to clean and clear all roads as soon as possible.
Happy to report this morning that residents can now access Douglas Charles Airport via the Bells Road. You can also access Grand Bay and Soufriere. Grand Bay and Soufriere were restored on Sunday. Therefore, access has been restored along all major roads except the communities of Scott's Head, Wharton Waven, and Geneva to Bagatelle. In all three communities, work is actively ongoing. In the case of Wharton Waven, with the bridge access, we are currently looking at a footpath while we prepare to install the Bailey Bridge. As well, we are also approaching the village from the community of Coptall. So either way, we are trying to get the community of Wharton Waven out. We expect that by today, Scott's Head will be okay while we continue to progress on the Geneva to Bagatelle Road. The ministry in general currently is focusing on increasing safety of commuters by undertaking clearing and cleaning works across the entire country. A heavy focus is being placed on the capital of Roseau in order to restore the city to some state of normalcy so that we could resume our business activities. We again request from the residents that we, as much as possible, avoid driving through the city while we walk across. We are aware that we need to consult with our insurances and go to the bank and transact in Roseau, but at the same time also aware that we need to clean up so we can make it safe for public use as soon as possible.
Besides the clearing of roads, electricity has been restored in Roseau to include the following businesses.
Let me at this point give an update on restoration of electricity from the point of view of Domlec. The following areas have been powered over the past 2 days: the Financial Center, Government Headquarters, National Bank of Dominica, J. Astor Funds and Company, J's Bookstore, Burton's and Company, National Cooperative Credit Union, Deepex Color Lab. We are also happy that the first street light came on last night. So this is of note.
On the other hand, homeowners who lost their roofs during the storm may have to wait a little longer, as well as those homes where the power lines leading to the homes were cut off.
Let me just also say, from the point of view of reconnection of electricity, just to note that all residents and basically wherever we will require connection will need to be tested, retested. And from the point of view of the electrical division, we are looking at the homes with roofs on. So if your roof is off, it doesn't make sense because you will not be powered up. So if your roof is still on, it still has to be retested. Priority will be given to the city of Roseau, as we expect this is the area that will be powered first. So we want to go we are working hand in hand with Domlec so that the buildings can get tested and then they can be powered up.
In other stories, residents in the Roseau area were excited about the restoration of water, but the excitement was short-lived. Bernard Etinoff, General Manager of Dominica Water and Sewage Company, DOASCO, said that while the company was happy to restore water, but the many complaints of flooding forced them to close off the supply. He stated that the flooding was caused by broken pipes.
We have been able to restore water in the Roseau area. Goodwill has had water for some time. And yesterday, about midday, we were able to restore water in Roseau proper. Last night we had to turn the system off again because of the number of complaints of properties being flooded. Of course, there are a number of broken pipes all over Roseau, but we are working on repairing some of those leaks and to turn the water back on. Today we are happy that Monbruce tank is almost filled at this point, so once we turn the water on, there will be water all over Roseau.
The general manager of DOWASCO was happy to inform that communities in the east and northeast will also be restored today and later this week.
There are a number of other communities that we're able to restore water and some that we are working on. Calibishi, we hope we'll be able to restore water there today. By this evening, in the Good Hope, Castle area, we do have some water and we'll be able to restore some more water in the Sansove, River Siri, Good Hope area by tomorrow. And we are working on a number of other areas at the same time. In the area of West Woodford, Calibishi, very problematic area there. We have some tremendous challenges, but we have been supported by the USAID and PAHO, who are assisting us in doing some purification of water and distribution by trucks in that area. We are also using a number of trucks to distribute water in a number of areas. In Warner, we were able to send some trucks there yesterday. We'll be sending trucks to Maho, Massac, St. Joseph during the course of today, and a number of other areas as we move along. In the area of Qualiho and Coolibistry, we'll also be setting up purification systems and continue our delivery by trucks.
General Manager of DOWASCO, Bernard Etinoff. Now time for your weather report. Tonight there's a possible shower, temperatures at 88 degrees, humidity at 79%, winds at east-northeast at 13 miles per hour. There's a 42% chance of rain and sunset at 6:18 p.m. And for tomorrow, partly sunny with showers, temperature at 83 degrees, humidity at 79%, winds at 13 miles per hour, sunrise at 5:55 a.m. This has been a presentation of your Primetime News on CBN4. I'm your host, Marisa Stedman, urging you to stay safe and to remain positive. Of course, you can like us up on Facebook or visit us on our webpage at www.cbn4.com. Thank you for staying with us.
Good evening, Digicel customers. It's a public service announcement brought to you by the good folks at Digicel. And we're pleased to announce that area communities near and surrounding Paybush now has Digicel service. So now you can turn your phones on and avail yourselves of Digicel services as of today. Nice. They join others on Digicel's steady road to recovery across the market for full network restoration. Now, connected already are Digicel sites at Monbruce and Portsmouth North, and the 4G site at the stadium, which has re-established service for customers in Kingsville, sections of Le Bear, Bath Estate, Louisville, sections of Newtown, Lagon, Bay Street, Grange, sections of Tatan, and areas near the Savannah and Emsel. Those in Canefield East, Canefield Proper, Massac Maho, Jimmet, Portsmouth, Salisbury, Grand Savan, Castle Comfort, Glasgow, Great George, Layu, Stadium, Canefield, Roseau, Layu in Hillsborough State, and Fokole can also connect with their families and friends. Digicel's engineers remain committed to working on total network restoration in the shortest possible time. Thank you.